You stand in a dim chamber, candlelight flickering on stone walls, the air thick with incense and decay. Chanting forbidden words, your heart pounds as a ghostly figure emerges from the shadows. This is your life as a necromancer, steeped in power and danger. In the Middle Ages, necromancy was a forbidden art, condemned by the church as a pact with demons. Yet, bold scholars and rogue clergy secretly summoned spirits to unlock hidden knowledge or wield unearthly power. Your life as a necromancer is a thrilling dance with danger, shrouded in mystery. From a curious child to a master of dark rituals, your journey unfolds in the haunting shadows of medieval Europe. Every step teeters between discovery and doom. You kick off life in a tiny English village in the 13th century, where the air hums with tales of demons and witches swapped over crackling fires. Your dad's a blacksmith, hammering away at glowing iron, while your mom's the village herbalist, spinning stories about plants that can heal a fever or soothe a broken heart. It's a cozy setup, but you're not exactly a typical kid. Even as a toddler, you're more into staring at the stars than playing tag. By age 5, you're sneaking off to the local graveyard, drawn to the crumbling tombstones like they're old friends. You feel a weird tingle standing among the graves, like someone's watching you. One day, you blurt out to your mom that you saw shadowy figures drifting between the headstones. She goes pale, muttering prayers under her breath, convinced you've caught the attention of something unholy. The village priest gets wind of your creepy graveyard tales and corners your family with a grim warning. He says your visions might be a sign of demonic influence, his eyes narrowing like you're already half possessed. You're just a kid, but the whole village starts giving you side-eye. Still, you can't shake the feeling that the graveyard's got secrets you're meant to uncover. At 7, you stumble across a dusty old book in your grandpa's shed, its pages crammed with weird symbols and Latin scribbles. You can't read a word, but it feels alive, like it's whispering to you. You sneak it under your bed, checking it at night like it's a forbidden treasure. It's your first taste of something bigger, something that makes your heart race. Death starts to fascinate you, and by 8, you're bombarding adults with questions like, where do we go when we die? Most brush you off, but their nervous glances only fuel your curiosity. You're not scared of the answers, you're hooked. The village kids, though, think you're weird, giggling behind your back when you ramble about souls and spirits. You don't care. You're already dreaming of things they'll never understand. By 10, you're the village outcast, shunned for your spooky stories about dreams where ghosts whisper your name. One stormy night, you dig out that strange book and trace one of its symbols onto your bedroom floor with a stick. A cold gust sweeps through the room, even though the window's shut tight. You freeze, half thrilled, half terrified, knowing you've just brushed up against something ancient and dangerous. At 12, you're packed off to apprentice with the village healer, a gruff old soul who teaches you to mix potions and spot herbs in the wild. You learn that plants like mandrake aren't just for healing, they're whispered about in hushed tones for secret rituals. Eager to test your skills, you whip up a special brew that sends a local cat into a 3-day snooze, earning you a mix of awe and glares from the neighbors. The healer catches on to your knack for pushing boundaries and gives you a stern warning about dark arts that could land you in hot water. Your curiosity only grows, and by 15, a traveling scholar rolls into town, spinning wild tales of magic and the underworld that make your pulse race. You sneak close to his campfire, ears burning as he describes summoning spirits to peek into the future. It's like a spark ignites in you, and you decide you need to crack open those ancient texts he mentioned. You sweet-talk the village priest into teaching you Latin, though his squinting eyes suggest he's onto your sneaky motives. One moonless night, you creep into the church, heart thumping, and rummage through the dusty library until you find a forbidden book on magic. Its pages are brittle, filled with cryptic spells that scream trouble, but you can't resist copying a few into a scrap of parchment. Back in your room, you pore over them by candlelight, feeling like you're unlocking a door to something massive. The words dance in your head, promising power, but also danger. At 17, your grandfather passes, leaving behind a locked chest with a cryptic note, "Open only when you're ready." You don't hesitate, prying it open to find an ancient book on necromancy, its pages scrawled in eerie red ink that looks suspiciously like blood. Flipping through, you spot a simple summoning ritual and decide to give it a whirl under a full moon. The air crackles as you chant, and a wispy spirit appears, sending you into a panic that knocks you out cold. When you come to, sprawled on the ground, you realize you've crossed a line there's no uncrossing. The spirit's faint whisper echoes in your mind. Your path leads to glory or ruin. It's both a thrill and a warning, but you're all in, vowing to keep this secret tighter than a drum. You pack up that creepy book and leave the village, determined to find someone who can teach you to master this wild, forbidden art. Your journey takes you far, chasing rumors of an old wizard hiding out in Paris, a city buzzing with secrets. You track him down, but he's not impressed by your eagerness, refusing to teach you until you prove your guts. His test? Spend a night in a haunted graveyard, where every rustle feels like a ghost ready to grab you. You barely make it through, heart pounding and clothes torn, but that near-death scare only fuels your hunger to dive deeper into the world of necromancy. The old wizard, with a beard like a tangled briar patch, finally takes you on as his apprentice, impressed by your grit in that haunted graveyard. He starts you off with the basics, showing you how to draw protective circles using chalk and salt, turning your shaky lines into barriers against whatever's lurking in the dark. You practice until your fingers cramp, learning that a sloppy circle could mean a very bad night. It's thrilling, like you're finally stepping into the pages of that forbidden book you found. Next, he introduces you to the tools of the trade, candles that flicker with an eerie glow, incense that smells like secrets, and animal blood that makes your stomach churn but powers your rituals. The wizard's lessons are intense, and he's not one for hand-holding, barking at you to get the measurements right. You fumble through, half expecting to summon a flock of angry pigeons instead of a spirit. But every successful chant makes you feel like you're bending the world to your will. One evening, your teacher drops a bombshell. Not every spirit you summon is a dearly departed soul. Some are demons playing dress-up to trick you. He teaches you to spot the difference by staring into their eyes, where true spirits have a faint silvery glow, while demons flicker like a dying fire. You practice this trick in front of a mirror, half convinced you'll see a demon staring back. It's creepy, but you're hooked, eager to outsmart whatever's on the other side. Your confidence gets a reality check when you botch a summoning and call up a demon by mistake, its snarling presence filling the room with a sulfurous stench. You scramble to banish it, chanting until your voice cracks, barely sending it back to wherever it came from. The wizard just chuckles, saying it's a rite of passage, but you're shaking for days, double-checking every circle you draw. That near disaster teaches you respect for the craft, and you vow to never get cocky again. To deepen your skills, you dive into ancient texts like Picatrix and Key of Solomon, written in Latin and Arabic that make your head spin. The wizard drills you on translations, and you spend nights hunched over candlelight, deciphering spells that promise power but scream danger. You're not just learning magic, you're wrestling with ideas that could get you burned at the stake. The church looms like a shadow, so you stick to nighttime rituals, hiding your work under the cover of darkness. One ritual goes so wrong you're left hearing ghostly whispers in your head for days, like a bad song you can't shake. It's unnerving, but the wizard teaches you to meditate, guiding you to connect with the underworld without all the fancy props. You sit cross-legged in the dark, breathing slow, until you feel the air hum with unseen presences. It's like chatting with the dead without leaving your room, and you're amazed at how far you've come. After 3 grueling years, you're no longer the wide-eyed kid who stumbled into this world. You've mastered the circles, the chants, and the art of not summoning demons by accident. The wizard gives you a nod, the closest he gets to a compliment, and says you're ready to strike out on your own. You're a full-fledged necromancer now, heart pounding with pride and a touch of fear, knowing the real test is surviving the life you've chosen. You settle into a creaky little house on the edge of town, passing yourself off as a humble herbalist to keep nosy neighbors at bay. Each morning, you brew a steaming cup of tea from mandrake and mint, a tangy mix that supposedly cleanses your body of any lingering bad vibes. Your meals are no feast. Crusty bread, a wedge of cheese, a splash of wine, and, if you're lucky, a bit of rabbit stew. To keep dark forces at arm's length, you bathe in water infused with herbs, the scent clinging to your skin like a protective spell. Your wardrobe is all business, rough wool cloaks that scream, "I'm just a peasant." But hidden inside are amulets etched with ancient symbols that hum with power. You keep a tattered journal, scribbling down every ritual and weird encounter, from glowing orbs to creepy whispers. In your rare downtime, you lose yourself in dusty books on astrology and alchemy, dreaming of turning lead into gold or reading your fate in the stars. You steer clear of village chatter, only meeting shadowy clients under cover of night, their coins jingling in exchange for your forbidden skills. One evening, a kid catches you sketching a ritual circle in the woods, eyes wide as saucers. You toss him a shiny coin to keep his mouth shut, praying he doesn't blab to the village gossip mill. You're a night owl, working by moonlight when the air feels alive with energy, your chants blending with the hoots of owls. Stargazing becomes a habit, as you squint at the heavens for signs from restless spirits, hoping they're in a chatty mood. When big rituals loom, you're a whirlwind, spending weeks hunting rare ingredients like bat wings or graveyard dirt. Once, you even snuck into a cemetery to dig up a bone for a special spell, your heart racing as you shoveled in the dark. A client begs you to summon an enemy's spirit for some juicy secrets, but you draw the line, not wanting to cross into outright villainy. Still, you discover that a drop of black cat's blood can supercharge a ritual, though you feel guilty every time you see a cat skulk by. Some nights are rough, like when a spirit's wail keeps you awake, its sobs echoing through your house like a ghostly tantrum. You carry a silver dagger, just in case a summoned soul gets feisty, its glint a small comfort in the dark. You experiment with a mirror to peek into the underworld, but the visions leave you with splitting headaches and a nagging sense of dread. A ring carved with a death symbol stays on your finger, a quiet guardian during rituals, especially after you accidentally summon a spirit so strong it shakes your house like an earthquake. Your reputation spreads like wildfire, catching the wrong kind of attention. The Inquisition. One night, guards storm your home, smashing your candles and scrolls to bits. You slip away through a secret tunnel, heart sinking as you leave your precious book behind. Forced to wander, you practice your craft in secret, hopping from city to city, always looking over your shoulder. A wealthy noble hires you to summon his father's spirit to find a hidden treasure, and you deliver, though the ghost warns of a curse. You help uncover the gold, but the noble stabs you in the back, ratting you out to the church. Hunted, you hole up in an abandoned monastery where you find a chilling book about controlling death itself. It tempts you with ultimate power in exchange for a piece of your soul, but you pass, though you sneakily copy a few rituals for later. Eventually, you return to your homeland, living in the shadows and helping lost spirits find peace. You become a spirit whisperer, easing families' fears about restless ghosts, though one vengeful spirit you aid leaves you haunted by nightmares. Doubts creep in, making you wonder if you're on the right path. But one night, your grandfather appears in a dream, beaming with pride, and you feel a spark of purpose reignite. You pour your heart into rewriting your lost book, determined to pass on your knowledge to those who come after. Your life is lonely, but there's a quiet joy in your mission to guide wayward souls. Once, villagers catch you mid-ritual, but instead of turning you in, they shield you, a reminder that even in the dark, some see the good in you. You carry on, a necromancer balancing on the knife's edge of danger and destiny, forever tied to the whispers of the dead. Your necromancy gigs take you to some truly wild places, like the time you used human bones in a ritual to summon a spirit so powerful it made the air hum like a thunderstorm. You'd snag the bones from an old crypt, heart pounding as you arranged them in a circle, hoping you hadn't just signed your own death warrant. The spirit came through, all glow and menace, but it left you rattled, wondering if you'd crossed a line you can't uncross. It's the kind of stunt that makes you double-check your protective circle every time. One night, things go south fast when a spirit you summon turns on you, its icy grip slashing your arm before you banish it. You're left with a jagged scar that aches on stormy nights, a permanent reminder to never let your guard down. The villagers start whispering about your cursed mark, and you just roll your eyes, but deep down it's a badge of how close you've danced with danger. You cover it with a sleeve, but it's there, a story etched in skin. In a risky experiment, you discover that using your own blood in a ritual can supercharge the magic, making spirits practically leap into the room. But it's a dangerous trickage drop leaves you dizzy, like you're teetering on the edge of something you can't come back from. You try it once, then swear it off, but the temptation lingers, whispering every time a ritual feels too weak. It's like playing with fire, and you're not sure how many burns you can take. One botched ritual sends the whole village into a panic when unearthly screams echo from your house, like the underworld itself is throwing a tantrum. You're sweating bullets trying to shut it down while neighbors clutch their crosses and pray. By morning, you're the talk of the town, and you have to spin a story about a bad dream to calm the mob. It's a wake-up call that your work isn't just risky for you, it's got the whole village on edge. You nearly meet your end when a demon, disguised as a sweet old grandma's spirit, tricks you during a summoning. Its eyes flicker wrong, and before you know it, it's lunging, all claws and malice, until you banish it with a desperate chant. You're left gasping, vowing to triple-check every spirit's vibe before inviting them in. The wizard's old warning about demons in disguise suddenly feels like the understatement of the century. The church ups the stakes, declaring that anyone caught aiding you will burn at the stake right alongside you. It's a gut punch, turning every friendly nod from a villager into a potential trap. You start moving like a ghost yourself, avoiding old haunts and keeping your hood low. The weight of being a walking target makes every ritual feel like a gamble with your life and theirs. During one summoning, you meet a spirit who breaks your heart, weeping because it's been dragged back to the living world too many times. Its sobs are like knives, and you cut the ritual short, promising never to call it again. You can't shake the guilt, wondering how many other souls you've disturbed just to chase answers. It's a rare moment where the cost of your craft hits harder than the thrill. A shady client pays you in gold for a tricky ritual, but the coins come with a curse that leaves you bedridden, feverish, and seeing shadows that aren't there. You melt the gold down and bury it, cursing the guy's name, but the sickness lingers, a reminder that even your rewards can bite. You start checking every payment like it's a ticking bomb, paranoid about what else might be hexed. It's a lesson in trusting no one, not even the ones with deep pockets. You learn some spirits can slip into living bodies, a chilling trick you witness when a summoned ghost briefly makes a client's eyes glow and voice change. It's over in seconds, but it leaves you shaken, wondering how many possessed folks you've passed on the street. You start weaving extra wards into your rituals, determined to keep the dead where they belong. The idea of playing puppet master with the living is too creepy, even for you. Your boldest move is summoning a king's spirit, a crowned shade who's not thrilled to be disturbed by a scruffy necromancer. He curses you with a booming voice, promising misfortune for daring to yank him from eternal rest. You shrug it off. But the next week, your crops wilt, and your horse bolts coincidence? Or royal revenge? You laugh it off to hide the shiver, but you're a bit more selective about which ghosts you poke after that. Your life as a necromancer is a wild ride through shadows, where every ritual tests your nerve and every spirit carries a story. You've walked a razor's edge, dodging the church's wrath while guiding lost souls to peace, your heart torn between power and guilt. From the kid sneaking peeks at forbidden books to the master of dark arts, you've carved a path that's equal parts thrilling and haunting. You carry on, a lone figure under the moonlight, your journal heavy with secrets and your spirit bound to the whispers of the dead.